Hey, what's going on, guys? Just want to make a quick video talking about X-sabers. It's been a while since I've been talking about them. Haven't made a video of them in a bit, so I don't know. I just wanted to kind of talk about them and just tell them and discuss about where they're at in the meta right now, and what are their possibilities, and because I know a lot of X-saber players right now are pretty frustrated. They don't really know what builds they should run. Sorry for my Facebook, but they don't know what builds they should run or what they should tech in now, because Insectors are rampant, windups are rampant, a lot of shit's going on, the meta's different, and Sabers are slowly getting left behind, especially after the ruling change on Dark Soul. That kind of really hurt, so it's just a lot of stuff's happening. So I kind of want to make a video, talking to you guys about the X-sabers, especially if you guys are X-saber players, some thoughts and ideas and some things that are going on in the meta that I see that are trying to compensate for this, and honestly my opinions and thoughts on what X-sabers are going to be for the rest of the format, maybe for the future format, depending on what they bring back, and just different ideas and different strategies and stuff. So let's get into it. So what I have here is a compilement of a whole bunch of X-saber cards. So we got Invoker, Souza, Herbellum, Henley, Gotham's, Fault Roll, Dark Soul. Then we have Ember's Blade, Fulhelm Knight, Bogart Knight, Pashul, Ragigura, and you're probably wondering why the fuck is Elder in here. A lot of builds actually run Elder now just for the possibility into going Elder, Pashul, into Xian. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but yeah. And then Gotham's Emergency Call. Alright, so right now Sabers, they're having a big difficulty in the meta simply because these guys, they're around, and they're hella annoying. They're a horrible matchup against Sabers. They just, simply because Sabers, they rely on keeping field presence and needing field presence to go off with Fault Roll. So a lot of it mainly was kind of, they're not slow, but they take time to set up. In this format right now, so how fast it is, it's really hard to set up. It's just extremely hard to set up. I can't stress how hard it is to set up. It's all about control cards right now, basically. Get shit on the field, control, or if you're playing Insectors, just leech off your opponent's cards with field presence and blow up their shit and plus. So it's like, right now, Sabers, they don't fit in right now. They just, you go set your Ember's Blade, you have your Ember's Blade, you set it, set a back row, and your opponent will go Centipede, go Hornet, pop your Ember's Blade, there goes your Ember's Blade, there goes one of your setup plays. And now they just plus stop blowing up your Ember's Blade. I don't know, for you X-saber players, you know how bad it hurts when Ember's Blade gets blown up. Whether it's by Scrap Dragon, Dark Arm, anything. When it gets blown up, it just makes you sad. And it also slows it down. So basically it requires Sabers to pretty much go off as fast as they can without setting up. And for you, those of you who play the deck, it's not exactly easy. Yeah, you have the Bogart Knight, but now you guys are got to remember, Maxi's typically at 3 in most meta decks, the same with Effect Vader. So you'll go, let me get this other way, Bogart Knight, to go into Ragigura, into Fulhelm Knight, into Pashul, whatever the hell you want to go into with Bogart to get the Fault Roll play off, and they'll go Effect Vader, or they'll go Maxi. So it kind of stops your play, and you're just left with the Beaver on the field. It really sucks right now that's happening, that Maxi's teched in almost every deck. Vader's really hot in every deck. So that's another reason why Sabers aren't really good this format. Again, guys, I'm not saying Sabers are bad, that they have no competency to be in the meta, to top in YCSs and stuff like that, regionals. They have the consistency. They are a consistent deck. They're a good deck. It's just right now, the way the decks are running right now and the way the format is right now, they're having an extremely difficult time doing so. And that's why partly you don't see X-saber deck topping. Like usually sometimes you see one or two X-saber decks in the top 16 or the top 32, and you really don't see that anymore. Just simply because of the decks that are already like Insectors. So maybe if they get hit in this ban list, then Sabers might have a possibility to top, simply because they did get some pretty good new support. They got X-saber Invoker in Souza. Now they weren't the most amazing cards for it. They didn't make it more consistent or broken. They kind of did nerf Invoker. Originally, when I first saw the card was announced, it had a really good effect, where it says, once returned, you could attach one XYZ, special summon a level 4 or lower Earth Warrior, Beast Warrior. Now they just changed it to strictly level 4. Well, that kind of really kills the deck, because if you look, there's no other level 4 Warrior, Beast Warrior besides Bogart. And everyone knows Bogart's effect, you go into go for X-saber monster, which I kind of believe that since they changed his effect, they kind of rushed Souza out, because pretty much he would only be able to make into Hunley or Urbellum before. Hunley or Urbellum. And Hunley is a great card, but nowadays, with Heavy around, people only set one back row anyways. So it's a kind of a waste to go into Hunley, unless they set 2 back row and you don't have the Heavy, and you have the opportunity to go into Hunley. And Urbellum, it's just too weak. You don't really want to bring him out. He has good effect, but most of the time, doesn't really go through. So, Souza, great card. He has 2,500 attack. That's, I guess, the biggest highlight of him is he's an X-saber monster that has 2,500 attack. His effects aren't bad at all. I'm not saying they're bad. You can run over big shit, so it's kind of like a Catastor. But then again, why would they give it a Catastor? I mean, if you want a Catastor, go into it. Just synchro for a Catastor. But anyways, it's good this X-saber, so you use Bogart for it. It's just nothing game breaking, nothing to make the deck more faster, consistent. Just a little extra to kind of complete its consistency a little bit. So maybe the potential of running tour guides in the deck now, since it's getting reprinted. I'm testing out a deck right now with tour guides and X-sabers, just so you can get him out when you have Fault Roll in your hand. When you have Fault Roll, so you just go into him, you bring out your Bogart Knight. Hopefully you have a tuner in the grave. Let me clear this off so you can just get a clear picture. So you have these two on the field. You'll go Fault Roll with his effect, and then Fault Roll's ability to grab a tuner like that, and you can synchro into Souza. And that's not a bad field right there. You know, from one tour guide, you got that field. That's not bad. But then you gotta remember, you have to have an X-saber synchro in the grave. You need to have Fault Roll in your hand. There's a lot of other stuff that that can go wrong also. So that's another reason I don't know if it's really a rant, but it's just my 2 cents on the deck and how it is playing right now, because I was playing it a while ago, and it was just really frustrating against the meta. It's just so hard to go off, so much hate, fiendish change, just a lot of shit that just stops you. Okay, about the Elder, I'm sure some of you guys probably seen a build where they run tech 1 or 2 Elders just so you can go to the free special summon, and then you normal summon the Postural, and then you synchro, and now you have Xian. So Xian can be run in Sabers, and I really don't know how consistent this is. I haven't play tested this. I don't know. It seems fun, and I see the reasoning behind it. But if you don't have Postural, then what are you really going to synchro for? I mean, I don't know. Just you can't really go into Hunley with this. You could go into Naturi, Barkion and stuff, and I don't know. I guess for playtesting before I can really comment on that. Gotham's Emergency Call. Again, one of the best cards, one of the best trap cards that they have. Just gives us swarming. It's just you have to have field presence to activate the card. It isn't like double-edged sword technique where you just derp summon without any requirements. You have to have an X-saber on the field, and just this format, it's really hard to keep monsters on the field when it comes to Insectors or windups hitting your hand. I mean, X-sabers are good for maintaining hand advantage so that you can go off, but with windups they kind of kill it because they'll hit 3-4 cards out of your hand, and then it kind of kills the Fault Roll play. And it's just a lot of shit's messing up Sabers right now in meta. This is just my 2 cents as an X-saber player. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Give me some ideas. Maybe you guys have some deck builds that are actually really good right now that have potential to topping. I'm not saying that they don't have the possibility of doing it. I've seen a lot of people top with this deck through bad formats, good formats, so I wouldn't be surprised. Just let me know what you guys think, and yeah, thanks guys.